Hi there, Simon here. I'm delighted to be at Moneypenny Central here today over in Wrexham. I've got Andy from the telephone answering team. How are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
You good? Yeah, not bad, not
Good,
bad
man.
at all. Blown away by this place as usual. So, Andy, you're from what they term the telephone answering, the call answering service here, which has always been absolutely core to what
Absolutely.
Moneypenny's been about, hasn't
Yeah.
it? How, what's the service that you provide to agents for those people that haven't heard of Moneypenny?
Yeah.
How do you help agents out?
So the telephone answering service that we've got upstairs, so I'm on property, and our day-to-day work generally relies on answering telephone calls from clients, also email conversations and queries from clients as well. So we generally have anything between 25 up to 50, 60 clients per PA or TL. So it certainly keeps us busy through the days. Well, yeah, it's just nice to have that interaction with our clients, keeping everything fresh and just keeping everything that we've got a nice relationship with our incoming clients as well.
That's cool. And obviously, I think that it goes without saying, so you operate it as a white label service, so you're answering as the agent themselves, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah, on behalf of our clients, yeah.
Okay, got that. And one thing I heard you say there that I wasn't aware of myself is so you actually engage in the email answering as well, is that
Yeah,
right?
sometimes just telephone answering service. So a lot of our clients, when they're able to give us a call,
Yeah.
sometimes depending on the client itself, it's a lot easier for them to email in,
Right.
and then we just deal with that through the email services that we've got here and live chats as well. We can just deal with that accordingly.
Cool, and give us a flavour of what the agents themselves say in terms of, let's talk about somebody who hasn't used a service like this before. What's the typical feedback you get once you've been working with them a while?
So I think when you strike up that relationship with the clients and they can see generally the pattern of the calls and the inquiries that are coming through, we speak with our clients, we ask them what they're looking for on these calls, and we set the precedents to our teams, so the teams know exactly what to ask, what information we need to gather, and then from there all the information is fed to the clients. If there's any areas of improvement that needs to be made, then we interact with the clients to make sure that these improvements or adjustments are corrected. But other than that, as I say, we just go as well. We work as we're going along, and as I say, all the information it's accurate, it's precise information that the client wouldn't necessarily been held to get on, say, leaving a voicemail if they weren't coming through to ourselves.
And I've got to express my extreme bias here because I am a Moneypenny client. I've been for a number of years, and that professionalism, both from what I've experienced myself and I see the many agents that we deal with, that's your USP, isn't it?
Of
That's your
course, it
secret
is.
sauce.
Yeah,
When you specialise in this, that's where you really seem
yeah.
to step apart from it.
I think when you say people by people, and when you look at our teams, everybody's individual in their own rights. When we're taking calls, we all take calls slightly differently. We've all got our own personalities, but I'm 100% behind people by people. I think that's why our clients buy Moneypenny, because we are who we are, and we're proud of the people that we've got here.
Yeah, we were talking to Joel earlier, and we were talking about how you don't go heavily scripted or anything else
No,
like that. This is really about actually understanding what the client's trying to do and helping them out. Get the destination is the goal, isn't it?
yeah, of course. And when we're taking each individual calls, as long as we've got the relevant information we need, what the client expects, then that conversation is there for us to have. It's not narrated, it's not robotic, it's personalised service, and that's what we pride ourselves on.
Excellent. What in terms of the way that you deal with the clients themselves? Do they get a dedicated person? Is it all part of a team? How does that kind of dynamic work with the agents themselves?
So each PA, TL, whichever role you're in, TM, everybody gets their own clients. Usually once they pass the 6 months probation, that's when they start coming in to the members of staff. Then from there, what happens? So say, for example, with my clients, if I don't answer the calls myself, it'll go to my team.
Yep.
If then my team don't answer the calls, it goes to the team manager group. And then from there, if they don't answer, if they're on calls, it then goes and disbands to property itself.
So if I'm understanding that right, which sounds really, really clever, is you've got your set person who actually learns the business almost
Yeah.
over time. They
Yeah.
get familiar and everything else. But of course, the key element, what you hear about to stop is any missed calls. If for whatever reason they are there, it does have that ability to fall back over into a kind of another group to support the whole infrastructure,
Absolutely.
which clearly you wouldn't have in an agency, would you? That
No.
call would be missed. And I think one of the things that I mean, you'll know this far better from experience, but those when you see some of those Moneypenny stats about what percentage of the missed calls for businesses not using your service that are like valuation requests, it's staggering, isn't it? It's frightening.
I think when you look at especially the valuation side of things, when we get these valuation calls, that is the bread and butter of a lot of these estate agents,
Yeah.
how much they can earn from that one particular call. And I think from that, that sets expectation of how much for an important job we're doing on behalf of our client, when potentially if we didn't do the job as expected, then that can have a knock-on effect with our client's business. And that's completely the opposite of what we're looking for. We want to make sure that we help their business grow as much as possible.
And that's the critical point, isn't it? Because look, I mean, Moneypenny is a great service. Clearly, you don't operate as a charity, so they're paying for this service. But the wonderful thing is that those agents that use you will just look at that and say, you know, what's the damage? What's the opportunity cost of those lost valuations if we don't do it?
Yeah.
Because I think that from the thing I've seen there before is those agents that look at this really in the black and white and go into minutiae. There's a feeling out there that sometimes said that people who, you know, oh, we've missed that call, they'll ring back. Every bit of research I've seen show that people actually just bounce on to the next company, don't they?
And the thing is, it's like when you get some of the trades, if you know, if you're looking for an electrician or plumber, wherever it may be, you don't wait for that call back, as you well say. You know, you go to the next person. And for me, my perspective on the way we handle our calls, if you weren't with a service like ourselves, specifically Moneypenny, then you could be losing out massively.
Wow, yeah, vital stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we've got hundreds of people here based in this absolutely fantastic office here. How many are in your kind of team, your department?
So my team, we've got 6 on team, and then we've got 4 teams under the manager group.
Yep.
So under the manager group, I think at the moment we've got about 22, 23 people under one manager.
Yep.
And that one manager has 3 TLs who then head up each individual team.
And sorry, you mentioned TLs before. So what's a TL?
Team leader.
Team leader.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yes. I need to understand my.
No, my apologies.
No, sorry. I know how that works. So I think one of the other key things here is, isn't it, is for if you were running your own agency and you were starting to, you know, realise that your calls were, you know, you weren't answering all the calls. You've got that quite difficult decision about when to take on somebody, a new member of your staff. And if you get that wrong, the last thing you want to do is then be letting them go, isn't it? This scalability point is a critical benefit, isn't it? There is that you can talk to Moneypenny straight away and stop those calls being an issue there without having that huge commitment that you would have getting your own member of staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. So Andy, that's absolutely fantastic talking to you, understanding that here today. So basically, anyone who's seeing that stress, hearing those phones annoyingly go off in their office, they need to have a chat with you guys, don't they?
Absolutely. They need to approach us. At the end of the day, we can help businesses grow more than anybody can at the minute. I think with industry leaders, I think the industry leaders for a reason. And like I say, people by people, and us here at Moneypenny, I believe we are the best of the best.
Well, I can back that up. So go to Moneypenny on kerfuffle.com, see the reviews that are on there. You know, they are absolutely blowing these guys away. So thank you, Andy, for today. Cheers.
No, you're very welcome. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much.